Mayor, Commissioners, first and foremost, there is no request on the agenda tonight for consideration of any decision for 610 Oak Commons Boulevard. There had been some information disseminated through the community that you all were making a decision tonight on a proposed Planned Parenthood clinic, and that is not the case. There's nothing on the agenda pertaining to that item. So that's the first and foremost issue that I wanted to make sure folks were aware of that are here tonight. The second thing, over the last 6 months, the city has had 2 official dealings with 610 Oak Commons, and the Planned Parenthood is the owner of that facility. First, there was a zoning verification letter that was issued by the Planning Department back in October 18th of 2013 at the request of the property owner to verify that medical office uses and outpatient surgical centers are a permitted use in the zoning district. And that letter verifies that. What that means is that the zoning for the area allows for medical uses. Hence, there's no decision to be made by the Commission. There's no rezoning required for a medical use to be located in that location. The second interaction that we've had with this property was on March the 6th. The building department issued a permit for interior alterations, which is essentially renovations of an interior building. And upon completion of that work, in accordance with the inspections and the codes that are done, a certificate of completion will be issued as long as all the Florida building codes are complied with. There's no discretion that the Commission has to deny that certificate of completion. It's outlined in Florida statute. As long as the contractor meets the codes in the Florida building code, then the inspections are passed and the certificate of completion is issued. The next step, which hasn't been taken or applied for to my knowledge, is to open the business. They would need to come to the city, to the building department, and obtain a business tax receipt. It used to be called an occupational license, but the Florida legislature several years back changed that process, and it's now called a business tax receipt because they did not want local governments regulating small businesses. So in essence, all they have to do is come in, pay the business tax, and show that they have a license from the state of Florida to operate a medical facility, and the building department will issue a business tax receipt. You do not have, under the statute, the authority or the ability to deny that business tax receipt, as long as they meet all of the state and local codes. So that I wanted to get out there so that there was no misunderstanding that this Commission has any discretion on the matter of whether a Planned Parenthood facility opens at that location. And the city attorney can give you a little bit more of an understanding about the legal background of that. The only other interaction we've had with that location is the police department under our special detail program, which is a program that any business can hire an off-duty officer for a set fee to provide security on their location. The contractor doing the work at 610 Oak Commons Boulevard did hire our police department to provide security at that location. But those are the only 3 official interactions we've had with 610 Oak Commons. And again, there is no decision before the Commission at this time. Don, I don't know if you want to give us an overview of the legal side of things.
From the legal side of things, at 610 Oak Commons, there is nothing for this Commission to consider. Their zoning is vested. It was vested when it was approved. Okay. Let me start over. From a legal standpoint, there is nothing for this Commission to consider, nor will there be anything for you to consider in the future. Their zoning, which is a permitted use, is vested. It's a vested right. It runs with the land. And so there's nothing for this Commission to determine yes or no as to whether or not they have a right to operate at that location. Second of all, the city is preempted by the state of Florida when it comes to the medical issues. The medical issues and the medical practice is regulated by the Medical Association and DPR through the state, and we have no say in that. Anybody who wants to challenge that would have to go through the administrative process of the state of Florida. As far as the BTR go, the business tax, that is a tax. All they have to do is come in and pay the money, and there's no regulatory statute associated with it. As the city manager indicated, several years ago, the state of Florida, the legislature determined that they just wanted to make it a mere tax, so it's no different from buying a license tag. You go and pay the fee, you get your tax. And then finally, as far as the actual use of the operation that's going to go there, there's nothing that we can do legally because the Supreme Court of the United States has ruled in Roe v. Wade that that activity is a legal activity. We do not have the right to stop that activity. So there's really nothing at the local level that this city can do that would deal with the operation, the medical operation going on in that business. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
One follow-up question that I have. Can anybody, either of you tell me when, how many years ago that land use and zoning were approved? Ballpark?
Building that was built in 1989, but I would suspect that the zoning has been in existence since earlier than that.
Yeah, I would say at least since the late 80s, for sure.
Okay. All right, what we will do is I will go through these here in the audience requests as we have received them. And our city clerk has been trying to document everything that, and hopefully we got them all.